Welcome back to Pixel Junkies. You're listening to the Pixel Junkies podcast, episode 11. I am one of your hosts, Rory DC.
I'm Adam the Porch Knight.
I'm Jordan the Marvel Coker.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Andrew.
We really need to get you nicknames.
I don't need a nickname. You know what my nickname is? I gotta tell you something. I listened to last week's podcast.
Yeah.
Don't worry, everybody. The funny guy's back.
No, you're the wrist flipper.
I'm alright.
Sure you already.
You gotta put that.
I've already done it.
Can you hear it?
I gotta tell you, I do
What? Oh, yeah,
do
you
that
betcha.
to
Yeah.
loosen the thing
Oh, no.
to make sure it's in,
Yeah,
to reposition
when
the
I
watch.
wear a watch too, I do it as well. I make sure I flip it up so it's at the top of my arm.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of big news stories. A really big news story out of England this week. Unfortunately, a long-running and favorite program of mine has been announced that there's going to be a big change to it, possibly ending. The news is still kind of breaking. We're still kind of getting over that.
Oh my God,
Aaron,
what is it?
Aaron, this is one of your favorite shows. You want to tell us about how they're
I
not...
think it's one of all of ours.
I know Aaron particularly likes it. Aaron, do you want to tell us about how they're not going to make any more Downton Abbey after season 6? Which was actually announced.
What?
Yeah, apparently they're not making any more Downton Abbey. They're finishing off with season 6.
I thought you were talking about that other show.
Doctor Who?
No, that other one.
The BBC News.
No, the one about cars.
Sherlock.
Yeah, that one.
Sherlock had cars in it.
No, seriously though.
some point.
Jeremy got fired from Top Gear. Aaron talked about
Well,
it.
he wasn't fired per se.
It was let go. Or
If I've read just
Or
about
I don't know the difference.
every single article. Yeah, of course you don't. I've read just about every single article I could find on the subject, and some places seem to be skewing the facts a bit. From what I can gather, he wasn't fired. They just opted to not renew his contract, which ends, I guess, when this
It was the
video
end of
comes
this
out.
month.
Yeah, so it'll be over now. I don't know what today is, 27th. So yeah, he's not going to be back for the next series, and they're probably not going to finish this series. But they have.
I think there
talked
was
about,
talk of finding a way to bring the remaining episodes onto the air.
They have talked about how they could go about bringing out the last few episodes, whether that would be, Jeremy, James, and Richard, or just James and Richard, or if they'd get somebody else to do it, or if they just released the segments that they had recorded. So I don't know how they're going to do that. The biggest challenge is replacing the three, because I'm pretty sure the three of them have sort of announced that they're leaving. Like Jeremy's
I think
obviously
James
gone.
is definitely leaving. I haven't heard anything about Richard.
Yeah, well, he hasn't really said specifically that he's leaving, but he has.
He's had a few tweets that suggest that he's not there anymore.
And when the press catch him, just coming out of his house or whatever, the way he talks, it makes me seem like he's not sticking around if Jeremy's not sticking around.
I think from what I can gather of knowing Richard from watching the show for so long and all the other shows that he's done while on Top Gear is that he wants to do it because it's the show that he's been on for so long and he's created it, but he doesn't want to be there without James and Jeremy, obviously. So I feel like he's a bit torn and he hasn't really come to a conclusion yet.
Yeah. I don't think people would blame him if he stuck around. I certainly wouldn't if he wanted. I mean, it's his job. So, if he were to stick around, then
I think he probably just feels like it's not going to be the Top Gear that it was. You know? And I don't
But-
think it will be, regardless of who's on it.
But I don't think it should be because we've had 22? This is 22, right? Seasons of this Top Gear.
It's been on for a while. It came
2001, wasn't it?
There's 22, 23, 22?
I think it was 2021.
Around there.
So I think this is as good a time as any for a change, and now that they're all leaving, maybe you can open up for a new kind of show format or something.
Just as a fan, I wish they had allowed some closure to it rather than just being very abrupt.
Yeah.
I mean, the most recent episode wasn't spectacular.
No. It'd be cool if they finished off the season and did one more special.
Yeah.
Me
And then
speaking
have
as a fan, I wish that none of it had happened at all.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Don't
could.
get in fights with people over steaks.
Yeah, it was stupid. Jeremy made a mistake there, and
Pun intended. Mistake.
Yep.
Don't ever talk
hashtag
Absolutely.
Steakgate. This is what it's being called.
Is that really what it's being called?
What's it being called?
That's disappointing.
Steakgate.
Not Steak Ghazi. As Fox would call it.
Ghazi steak.
No, I'm not going to say that.
Anyway, a lot of people have been blaming the guy that he hit, which, as far as I can gather, his name is Ashen Timon.
Why have they been blaming him? What's his...
Well, they say...
Because he happened to have his face in the way of Jeremy's fist.
Yeah, well, like, he obviously refused Jeremy whatever he was after, and everyone's going to side with Jeremy because he's a host and they know him and blah, blah, blah. But I think they feel like he could have resolved it in that it was made a bigger deal than it should have been because of him. Like, had he just said, like, guys, no, just, like, don't worry about it. He hit me. We'll work it out. Apparently, Jeremy tried to apologize, so, like, whatever. It'll be small time, and we'll just talk it through, whatever. No big deal. And I think, like, if that had happened, then, yeah, like, it wouldn't have been a big deal. I feel like the BBC brought it to court and made it an investigation because...
Well, Jeremy, the head of the BBC television programming hates Jeremy, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. They've had spats before.
I'm unfamiliar with the situation, but in general, with things, like, I agree with you, actually. Like, if he had probably made it no big deal.
Yeah.
But generally, I give the guy who got punched in the face the prerogative
to
sort of do whatever he likes.
Like, to that degree, it's like, if you get in a fist fight with a buddy of yours and he punches you in the head, are you going to pursue legal action? Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, if it's serious, then yes, it's something serious to pursue, but, like,
again, that's because it's within a business. They're obviously going to...
Yeah.
They don't... I mean, BBC is massive. They don't want to be like, oh, well, they'll sort it out later and not call attention to it. But I think, it could have been smaller than it was had this guy just...
Yeah, almost definitely, I'd say, yeah.
And, I mean, not to say that he should have, but I feel like by not doing it, he's working himself out of a job for a few years. And he's also obviously going to get upset millions of people who watch the show because he's fundamentally bringing it to an end, Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that was his decision to make, and that's what happened, but...
You're talking about Jeremy at this point.
No, the guy he hit. You know? Like, obviously Jeremy made a mistake and shouldn't have hit the guy over something stupid, but...
He should be the new host.
The guy... No. He's done, like, behind-the-scenes things before, and I don't hate the guy, but...
You don't like him.
He's like the Matt and Jeremy Top Gear.
Don't like him.
He's just... I don't know. He's a producer, and he's just behind the scenes, and he's young, so, like, I don't know. Nice. Anyway, other things in the news. What else has happened this week?
I have no idea.
Top Gear.
Honestly, not a lot has happened. This has been a relatively slow news week.
Yeah.
Arkham got delayed.
Oh, that's
a small delay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Again?
Good.
But like
It's
like a couple week delay. It's no big deal,
Is it
really.
coming out
Similar
in
to
April
the
or May?
GTA 5 delay.
Well, it's coming out in June now.
Yeah, that's right.
It's coming out in June anyway. It's coming out in June 2nd. Now it's coming out in like 23rd or something like that.
Yeah, it's a small delay, and I don't mind. Like
I don't know. I'm wondering what they need because they are only getting a week or two. So I'm wondering why.
Yeah, that's
well,
a good
see,
question.
they heard our podcast last week, and they were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
guys, we got to refine those combat mechanics."
And that
Also-
Batmobile is not going to be. Yeah.
Also, man, what game is it that just got released? Yeah, I'm totally not doing my job here. No. There was a game that just got
Tetris
released that
Remix.
had a big opening day patch. What was it, like a 16 gig patch on opening day of release?
Battlefield?
It might have been. Like I couldn't say for sure. I wish I knew. I'm sort of failing at doing my research here, but
I'm pretty sure it would have to be Battlefield because it was really the only big multiplayer game that was produced, and it's by EA, so you know it's going to ship fundamentally broken.
What I'm going to tell you right now is that Batman has probably already been printed. It's already in a case. If you're going to buy it, it's already ready.
Well,
to go.
maybe not necessarily at this point.
Not if they're delaying it by 2 weeks.
They haven't announced.
know.
The company would officially announce that the game's gone gold.
Yeah, which they haven't.
Yeah.
I don't think.
What do you mean?
When the game goes gold, that means it's ready to ship. It's good. Golden.
Like
It's gold.
they're in the process of manufacturing it.
yeah. Now, mind you, usually that's a lie. It seems.
Can we talk about, because there's no news, can we talk about how EA, I no longer feel confident buying anything from EA anymore? Because...
Sure.
That was a while ago, but sure.
What?
For me.
Well, yeah.
We can also bring Ubisoft into this.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Dead Space?
Yes,
Yeah.
very
And
much.
other EA games that were actually
Remember
pretty
when
good?
Dead Space?
Oh,
and
wait, there
Mirror's
were
Edge
lots.
came
There
out
are
at the
lots
same
of
time?
EA. Well, that's the thing. EA is a huge publisher, So they do hit the mark on some great games. I mean, Battlefield 1942 was EA published.
EA had a really
what I'm saying
good
is
run there
went down
a while ago.
The old James Bond games, like Nightfire and stuff like that were EA published. Those were great.
But I'm not saying they don't make good games. I'm not even saying they don't even make good games
I know exactly
now. But
they
ship fundamentally broken, especially in the multiplayer aspect.
Yeah, no, that's a huge problem.
16 gig patches. If that's true for Hardline, that's hilarious.
Don't do multiplayer if you haven't figured out single player.
Just
we
delay
still
the
haven't.
game.
We still haven't gotten bug-free single player. Get bug-free single player before you start doing multiplayer, because that's a whole lot more complicated.
Yep. But it's not about single player anymore. For most gamers.
Do you think they do QA?
I'm not sure if that's true. I'm not sure if that's true for most gamers, or if that's just something that we're being sold.
Most social gamers.
Well, I think that might be an idea we're being sold, though.
Yeah.
Because the game companies seem to like to say certain things don't sell.
Yeah, but why would you want somebody to play multiplayer over the single player story? Why is that such a draw?
Because multiplayer, if your multiplayer is really popular, like it was in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 or
maps and stuff, I guess.
I think the more people use that online service, the more money that they're going to generate.
I don't think it's tailoring to what people or what they want you to like. It's what the market is.
Also, you make your own game then, in a sense of the word, so they don't have to worry about, obviously there's a lot of challenges of programming multiplayer, and I'm not diminishing the effort of all the programmers who do that, but to a certain extent, they don't have to hire a story writer and stuff like that. That's less money they have to pay out to people. And also, for a long time, I mean, like I've always said about Call of Duty, companies like this have been setting people's expectations low, being like, we can't do dedicated servers, we're just going to keep doing this lag compensation strategy, which never worked. Dedicated servers were always the way to go.
Well, the thing that Call of Duty Ghosts and Call of Duty, I won't say Call of Duty Advanced Warfare because of all the crap that I gave that game. I will admit mechanics were slightly different, but Call of Duty Ghost was the exact same game. At least it felt like the exact same game in terms of mechanics as Call of Duty 4. Very few changes. Yeah. So I'm wondering why... I know they only had a year, and even if you're just taking the same mechanics and stuff. Did they have 2 years?
Well, what are we comparing it to? Sorry,
I'm just saying, when it came out, it apparently...
But what game to what game? Which Call of Duty to which Call of Duty?
We're saying Ghosts is very similar to 4 in terms of mechanics.
But 4 came out many years ago. 4 came out in 2000.
Ghost is similar to 4 in the same way it's similar to... Modern Warfare 2 and 3.
No, that's what I'm saying. They've been just using the same mechanics over and over and over, copy and pasting. So I'm just saying why? Because I've read stories from people who worked on Ghost, and I like Ghosts, but I've seen the comparison of the opening scene of Ghost and the final scene of Modern Warfare 2 is the exact same. They just changed the character skins. It's the same scene. It syncs up perfectly. And apparently the maps weren't finished. Most of the maps were only finished.
There's an intro cutscene that's also ripped straight from Modern Warfare 2, I think.
Yeah.
Like the same animations.
Yeah.
There's different stuff going on in the background, but the characters move in the same.
The intro to Ghost is copying off the ending of Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah. That might be the game that's the biggest perpetrator of going to online before you finished your single player and then messing up the online.
But and because even the online was not actually. I thought that the single player for Ghost was the best aspect of
totally.
it. It was honestly a pretty good single player from what I thought. Nothing, we're not talking
fair
Halo
enough.
or anything.
Yeah.
But hello.
That's some awesome telemarketing there.
Yeah.
Andrew answered his phone for the audio viewers. Or listeners. You can't view audio.
Halo, I love Halo. But even Halo... Even
Halo 5 is going to be the same as Halo 4.
Speaking of Halo...
Halo Anniversary Edition shipped broken.
Yep.
And there's no excuse to be made for that. It was shipped out too early, and...
It's the same. The game's already made. That's what doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
How can you send out something you've already made and it be broken?
I think
if it wasn't broken before.
I think the reason that it was broken time is because
the game itself wasn't mechanically broken. The server side was broken.
Yeah, and they just hadn't.
That's all they had to work on. That's all they had to do.
No, it wasn't.
90% of what they had to do.
No, well...
Up-res everything. Like, come on now.
Were they using dedicated servers?
I'm pretty sure they were using dedicated servers for this.
I haven't played Halo enough to know.
Well, the old ones didn't, but this one did. I'm assuming it did because Microsoft announced a year ago that they were purchasing 300,000 computers to have dedicated servers for their top games.
Money well spent.
Yeah. Now, apparently, after 2 weeks, its work, and since then, it's been working better than a lot than Call of Duty at least. But that's still inexcusable. Should have worked day one or at least day two.
Exactly. Yeah. The rule of thumb should be you should be able to ship it patch free, and someone can still play it. It's still playable.
Was Bloodborne that in the patch? Because that came out too.
I hope not.
I doubt it was seriously. I'm sure there was a small patch, but I don't think it was anything major.
That game looks really nice. Should I play it?
Did you play Dark Souls too?
Do you like the other Souls games?
Dark Souls, Demon Souls.
Is this?
It's the same game.
It's a spiritual successor.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah. It's those games.
It's by From Software, which is really hard to say because you have to say by from instead of what we normally say. It's from. Because that sounds dumb.
Hold on a second here now. So it's the same game?
No, it's not the same.
It's by the same people. It's by the same people, and it's very similar in style to the previous Souls
games. When you kill something, do you gather souls?
You gather blood, or blood echoes,
and then you can
level up and stuff.
What is it like impossible?
Yep. Apparently, it's even harder because apparently it's harder for people coming at it from the approach of Dark Souls because in Dark Souls you use your shield. And it's very slow in plotting. In this one, it's a lot more mobile-based, but you don't have that shield, so you're dodging around a lot.
Okay.
So you're fighting more enemies.
You have 2 Steam icons.
Do you get a custom character in this?
I don't know.
Yep.
Okay.
We got to take a quick break now. When we come back, we're going to talk. And we're back with the Pixel Junkies podcast. Woo. Before the break, we were talking about Bloodborne. Has anyone played it yet?
No, I'm waiting until after exams because I'm basically
Fair
not
enough.
playing anything.
I'm waiting until I can afford it.
I feel like I have played it. It seems so similar to the past games.
The commercial looks really cool. It makes me kind of want to play it.
I just
Are there guns in this one?
Yep.
Yeah, it feels similar. I mean, it's more different than Call of Duty is every year, but it mechanically it's very alike.
I like Dark Souls 1 and I like Dark Souls 2.
Yep.
I like Dark Souls 1 a lot better than Dark Souls 2. But
have you played Demon Souls?
No,
that's
that only came
hard.
out PS3.
That is very, very hard.
It is hard.
Dark Souls, but so I'm okay with more of the same, and I really, really, really like the setting for this game.
Yeah. It's like old England or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like
the exact
Victorian
same setting as the other
God.
14 games that they had.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No, the other ones were medieval. This one's like
Yeah, that's old England.
newer England.
It's
Victorian.
Victorian.
Yeah, it's more like Ezio in Italy, like that.
It's Victorian Gothic.
Yeah. Like
So does it take place outside?
Yep.
And in cities though.
That's new.
Yeah.
There were open parts to
Not
Demon
really.
Souls,
They
Dark
were-
Souls.
Dark Souls
dark
2.
as hell.
No, Dark Souls 2 had a bunch of open.
I don't know. They're all. Every time you say one of the names of them, I forget the previous name you said. They're like dark
played
demons.
Dark
So
Souls 2.
the problem
Yeah,
isn't
well,
with the game.
that
The
came
problem is
out,
you're an
didn't
idiot.
it didn't.
Yeah, essentially.
That'll be out the weekend.
Yeah, maybe I'll check it out. I didn't realize it was from the same guys, so that's kind of cool. That's exciting.
Yeah, if you like the other ones, you'll probably like this one.
Definitely.
Speaking of crappy games, Halo on PC is coming back, but only in Russia.
Yeah.
As a free-to-play game.
Halo Online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think they're trying to.
What?
They're trying something. I think if this
They're trying
works,
to lose all their money.
But it's not them, right?
Only
It's-
on Russia do we play Halo.
Is it?
Yeah, who's
Who
it
is
being
it?
made? It's not being made by Bungie. It's,
No, it's someone else.
Free.
It's
Is it
Or,
free?
No,
yeah, that's
no,
what
it's-
I mean. Sorry.
It's other people. It's the people who worked on those games when they were being made. People who worked on the Master Chief Collection, like one of those sort of sub companies. I think, as I understand the situation, they're making it. Yeah.
So they're getting Russia to beta test a future pay-to-win Halo game for us.
Well, I don't know. I don't. As far as I know, there are no plans to ever make it international.
I would assume it's being made by a
I
Russian.
think they're just saying that
a
now.
Russian.
Could be.
It's
Yeah.
being ported by a Russian developer for.
I wouldn't
Russian
be surprised if
stuff.
this is Xbox's attempt to break into the Russian market because I don't think there's a lot of.
If they're trying to beat Dota.
But it's on. It's
pretty terrible if
PC.
it's PC.
It's not an Xbox game.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Well-
like,
Isn't that a thing? Isn't that a thing? Isn't Dota? Dota 2 is apparently like exceptionally popular in Russia.
Maybe.
Like,
yeah,
it's like huge.
Every time I hear about Dota 2, everybody's asking for there to be less Russians.
I'm assuming.
What's you play as a Dota or League?
I play League and now Infinite Crisis.
I'm assuming that like all the issues that the game will inevitably have, like server issues and pay to win microtransactions, that nobody in North America will ever hear about it because it's in Russia, and they'll have all those problems fixed when they bring it here, because they will. They say they won't now, but they will.
I think Halo Online is a good idea, as long as it doesn't become a pay-to-win thing.
It looks like it's already paid to
A
win.
long
long
time ago. There was going to be Halo MMO, wasn't there? A very long time ago, and that got scrapped.
Yeah,
because I've seen screens from it. Very early screens.
I saw some video from the Russian one, and it looks like it's pay to win. Like you earn like 10 silver credits or something per match or whatever, and a gun is like 10,000 silver. But if you give them money, you can buy the gun or rent the gun because you got to rent it.
Oh, I love renting things in video games.
You can rent it for a half an hour.
Oh my god, that's stupid.
Why are they ruining Halo like that?
I got into a massive argument on Facebook with the people who made, was it Gamers First? The guys who...
APB.
Yeah, the guys who did APB.
Reloaded.
You got an argument on Facebook with them?
Yeah, they posted
That was
something
going to
about...
be the best game ever made.
What's
they posted
APB?
something about it's the All Point Bulletin MMO, All Points Bulletin MMO that came out and failed.
It was made by the people behind Crackdown and the first GTA.
Real Time Worlds.
Well,
Anyway.
the guy, like the main lead
thought it was-
developer of the first GTA.
It looked amazing. Most customizable character in a game at that time.
Anyway, you had to rent weapons in it,
Yeah.
and I was like,
You didn't
how come-
have to.
Yeah, you did. There was no buy option when it first started. So I was like, how come I can't
I
just
think you
buy
could
it?
get them in, through the game, though. Couldn't you? If you played for like
Maybe.
3 billion hours?
Yeah, you might be able to grind it.
Yeah.
But I was like, why can't I just buy the gun? Why do I have to rent it? And we got into this big-ass argument over it. I think I don't know if... Or maybe it was on their forums. I remember getting banned from somewhere. Anyway, that's how that turned out.
And now you can buy guns, so thank Aaron for that, everybody.
There's a game I've been following. I generally like the idea of Kickstarter-backed or just crowd-sourced funded
Things.
Like
Yeah.
the Waterfront Fire album.
Did that get successful?
Oh, we're at 23.55 or something out of 3,000.
23%, not bad.
No, we're at like almost like 75%.
Listen, you already got my money, so
Yeah, you can always upgrade.
no. I'm already getting the T-shirt, man. What do you want from me?
I know.
By the way, when am I getting that?
Some cool.
You can get their album on Pirate Bay.
Yeah, you won't be able to because it doesn't exist yet.
Oh, I thought I uploaded it on there.
Well, I don't know why you.
I
listened
uploaded your
to it.
first one.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't care.
So I
Wait,
generally...
Pirate Bay is back?
Or
Well, it was
Somewhere.
always...
Kick-ass torrents.
It was always like there, sort of. It's just, as I understand it, I think like because they still had the archive stuff, right? Like it was all still there
Okay.
on like a backup, if you will.
You could get permalinks or something.
So even when
yeah,
it all
ISO Hunt bought,
If you
or maybe
I,
not
no,
bought,
I,
but took
actually,
over
I was
the
actually
name
on it the
Pirate
other
Bay.
day and I downloaded it. So, but
Yeah, Pirate Bay, like the name is back up when
You
it's not
downloaded
being
your own
run by
album.
the same people.
okay, but it's the same site.
Yes, but it's not It's not.
I love
the
how
same
when the
people.
FBI took them down, everybody who used Pirate Bay was like, "That's a minor inconvenience."
It wasn't the FBI, was it?
I'm pretty sure it was the FBI.
Really? In
Sweden.
yeah.
Well, they were involved in the investigation. I know.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I think they were working in partnership with Interpol.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Day one, it was that's a minor inconvenience. Day two is come back, come back.
What do you mean they're gonna use kick-ass torrents? I don't
I
even
don't
know what
understand
I don't
why-
even know what the download link is.
Anyway, I like the idea of is it crowdsourced funding or crowdfunding source?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Crowdsourced
For stuff
funding.
because I mean, you're taking your chances with it because you might get burned with your product, but a lot of times it can lead
Just
to
kidding.
games that would never, like his album. It can lead to products and stuff that will. That will actually seem good. There's one I've been following called
The cooler, the coolest.
What?
It's like a super cooler. It's got a Bluetooth and wireless head stereo. And...
A cooler with Bluetooth.
Yeah, it's actually wicked. You look at
What
it.
is the
Called the
Bluetooth?
Cool
to?
It's
Tooth?
called the coolest.
But it's not a video game.
Why don't
No?
they call it a cool
No.
tooth?
It's not a video game. It's a cooler.
But I said
Why did you
video
bring
game.
it up? Adam was like, guess
I
what
think-
video game
I
I've
thought
been
you just
following?
said
You're like, the
crowdsourced.
coolest.
Oh, I said I'm following a crowdsourced video game, and you were like, "Is it cooler?" What?
What
At
even
first, I
is
thought
it?
you meant the Dragon Ball Z villain.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah, he is pretty cool.
So it's a
cool,
cooler you can put drinks in that has Bluetooth.
Yeah, but it's also got a blender in it. And it runs on, like, 9-volt batteries.
What is
And
the
it's
point of this?
amazing!
God, can you pass me a
It
beer?
runs on-
Oh no, it's been blended.
So
Why?
it runs on 9-volt batteries.
I don't know what it runs on. It's got to be...
Jordan is horrible PR for this.
All right, let's look this up.
It's called the coolest, I think.
Anyway,
It's a cooler with
before we-
Bluetooth
before we
that
get back
blends
to the-
stuff and has batteries.
I think
in
you dreamed it up.
No, I swear to God, this is...
Coolest
Why does the cooler
cooler.
need Bluetooth?
It's
Because
called
you can run your speakers
coolest-
and have a party!
Hey, it's
You
called.
can run your speakers off other things.
Hey, okay,
Yes,
here's
this
the
is
thing.
You
one-
can't hook a mouse up
Oh
to
my
other
God,
things.
it's
You gotta hook it up to
Is
the
it
cooler.
this?
All right, no, I've got
Yes.
it. I've got it right here.
Turns
It's
off
called.
the second after.
It's called Coolest Cooler, 21st Century Cooler. That's
Yes.
actually cooler. It's created by Ryan Grepper,
Does the
who's
battery
got a
make it cool?
who's
I was
got an
hoping it was
expression on his
Ryan
face
Cooler.
that's kind of to the effect of.
The coolest is a
Yeah, I'm doing it,
party
I'm doing it. He's
disguised
got it,
as
yeah.
cooler, bringing blended drinks, music, and fun to any outdoor occasion.
Over
And it's
$13
got a
million.
strap that goes over so you can, like...
Over
that's the best
$13
bit.
million.
They've got it for it, yeah.
Over
Bluetooth strap.
$13 million.
You
Yeah.
can Bluetooth it to your
Let that
backpack.
sink in.
But what does
It's
it
a
do?
great thing.
What does it do?
It has a wire, like you connect. I connect my music to the speakers in it, and you can play music in it. It's a cooler for when you're out hanging out with the boys, going camping.
Why
I know
don't they-
none of you have ever done that.
Make
It's
it
got like
tan.
a
What?
car battery
Listen,
inside of it.
Camping is where creepy pasta happens. So let's just never go camping.
Make a tent that has wheels on it, that has Bluetooth, so you can drive, and then just screw the tent, just have it be a car, and then you can just drive past where you're going to stay, and then go home out of it again.
Camping.
Anyway, it's pretty cool because it's called the coolest, and it's orange. I love the color.
You
of it.
if I'm just remembering that, you like BoJack Horseman just because it had horse puns in it.
Yes, it was amazing.
Anyway,
It's got a built-in ice crushing blender. That's
There
not
you
bad.
And
So-
it got this
Sweet.
little strap thing. So like,
Those
if you
batteries will
got,
last
if you
4
got like
seconds
a
in a
bunch
cool
of bags and
environment.
stuff, and you're carrying, it's got wheels and everything, and like one of those like vacation traveling things. It's got a bungee cord that you put over the top of it.
Can
right?
it Bluetooth GPS so it'll follow
It's got
you
a
into the
bottle
woods?
opener. It's got a bottle opener.
it's sentient. We'll start the apocalypse.
Bluetooth
All
bottle
right,
Oh,
I got an
that's
idea.
cool.
Let's make a thermos with Bluetooth,
That's a good idea.
a back strap,
Yeah,
a side strap,
yeah,
wheels on it.
yeah.
You can. It's got like those flip flop toe things, so you can put it under your foot.
What?
Like you can
And-
wear the thermos
as a sandal.
as a sandal.
And when
you
there's
get
no
two
light-
of them,
Yeah,
and you
you
hook it
get
up to
two.
Bluetooth, play music out of your sandal thermoses.
Yeah.
Call it the warmest.
If life
I
is
like
supposed to be a party, then you better bring the music. That's on their page.
Awesome.
No advertising.
Or when there's no liquid in it, you can unscrew it in the middle and use it
It's
as
the
headphones.
best reggae album. Nobody's gonna buy it.
You can advertise
Anyway,
it by
I
saying
think
don't
so.
buy it.
Campus radio
think
where
on
CDs
this
go to
game-
die.
Which is crowdfunded.
Yeah.
What are we talking
Yeah.
about here?
Is it that Titanic game that looks awesome?
Nope.
Oh.
It's called Hyper Life Drifter, and I've been following it for the past year or so, and it looks really cool. It's like a Metroid style retro game. It looks really good, and it's kind of finished. At least it's been fully backed, and he said, yeah, and it's been announced for like Linux, PC, iOS, Xbox One, and PS4. So a lot of platforms.
What was
And-
the crowd goal?
I can't remember. It was a
whatever.
lot. They met every stretch goal.
Oh, okay.
And so he's been like, yeah, we're hoping to launch sometime first quarter of 2015, and there's been no announcement. There's been no update where everybody was like,
Good.
good.
Thanks for the money.
Although
bye.
I think
It's definitely a bunch of screenshots of Metroid Prime or something. Like,
it isn't, but just look up Hyper Life Drifter. It looks really cool.
Hyper Life.
Hypo or hyper?
Hyper.
Hypo Life.
Another Kickstarter
Hippo Life?
game just came out. Actually, it's Obsidian's Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah, I've heard that's really good.
Yeah, it's getting really good.
are they the same guys who did Call of Cthulhu?
No.
No,
Are you
Obsidian are the people who did.
that is an acceptable pronunciation.
Is it?
Yeah.
They're actually Andrew's
CUT.
one of Andrew's favorite game developers.
L
Yes.
U.
What do you call them?
Well,
There's
a
an
lot of
H in
people.
there.
Do you remember?
pronounce
Did
it
you ever play New
Cthulhu.
Vegas? Did Jordan ever
But
play
I
New
thought it was
Vegas?
TH.
New Vegas.
Yeah. Did you ever
Yeah.
play that? Yeah.
That was Obsidian. But I thought they
Alpha
also
They also did
Protocol,
Dark Corners of the Earth, didn't they?
Knights of the Old Republic 2,
Yeah,
South Park Stick of Truth.
I thought they did Call of Cthulhu.
No.
Cthulhu.
Are you sure? I'm thinking. he's
There's
correct.
no one Call of Cthulhu developer.
But they did Dark
it's
Corners of
basically
the
open
Earth, didn't
source. Nope.
No?
No.
Nope.
Who did Dark Corners of the Earth?
Some other guy.
Spelling and pronunciation. Cthulhu has also been spelled Tulu, Kulu, Kululu, Cthulhu, 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 Kajulithu, Cthulhu, Cthulhu.
I like Cthulhu.
Cthulhu with a K, Cthulhu with a K,
Kabulu.
Cthulhu with a Q, Cthulhu with a
Jake
K.
Jill and Julio
Look.
in charge of this?
No, that is actually...
We gotta take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about
The
the
Infinite
word with
Crisis.
the most number of pronounctions.
And we are back on
Hey,
the Pixel
Rory.
Junkies podcast. Yeah, what's up,
Are
man?
those 5 seconds up yet?
Yes,
Are we back on the air?
we're back on the air.
Good.
All right.
The,
Can we
So,
not do like
can
the
I-
5, 4, 3, and then
Uh,
whatever the...
yeah, I probably should do that. Yeah, I will do that next time.
I want to, before we get
All that
into
breaks.
actual conversation, I've been picking at a screw under the table. It's gum.
And that explains Andrew's cancer the last couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah,
Alright.
you had your tooth ripped out of your mouth, didn't you?
I had a filling done.
It's the same thing, right?
No.
No.
Was it
No,
a bad
it's-
filling? Like, did they need to, like...
Yeah, it was on the side of my tooth where there's there's very little enamel.
Yeah.
So it was very close to the nerve. So the whole side of my mouth is pretty
Yeah,
pretty irritated here right now.
Right,
Those
yeah.
are pretty bad.
Yeah. That's what you
very
get for
noticeable.
sucking at brushing your teeth and all
That's
that.
what you get for falling in love.
They're gonna go the Paramore direction with that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Anyways, so there's a couple things I wanted to talk about. First one was Bloodline. New Netflix original series, aired last Friday. I meant to watch it all, but
It's not good.
no, it is good.
Okay.
I don't remember what happened. Oh no, I got super busy with schoolwork. I couldn't remember if that was the time I was sick or not. But no, that was the week before. Yeah, no, I just got super busy with schoolwork and didn't have time to watch it all. So I'm only like 3 or 4 episodes in, unfortunately.
Loser. I'm
but-
sure
Literally
I have watched it.
vampires.
The
No, it's...
why do you keep accidentally saying BAMF? By the way, you did this last
Bamf
2 weeks
Awards.
ago too. When you talked about the BAMF Awards and it was the BAFTA Awards.
That's a nice place. It was the first
The,
place I had Jones Soda because it wasn't Newfoundland before.
I'm gonna
So-
mod Skyrim and make vampires.
Speaking of, I played
Bamf
through
fires.
South Park Stick of
Bamf
Truth again.
fires.
That game's hilarious if you
It's
haven't played it.
great.
Yeah.
What is
And
it?
the thing is, it's one of those games where you don't want going and collecting everything.
Yeah.
Is it?
Stick to truth.
Oh.
Don't play it because we're gonna do a series in that, and I want you to have a fresh perspective on it.
I think
I
you
don't
should,
want it to be ruined by you guys.
Yeah,
so
I
am
think he
gonna
should
do it.
just play it
No, I
on
don't-
his own.
And we'll talk about it later.
The anyways, so Bloodline is a show that takes place in the Florida Keys, which is one of the coolest parts of it. Is that the setting is really interesting.
It's called Kokomo.
Isn't that the same place where Dexter took place?
Where what?
Dexter.
The Keys?
No, Dexter's in Miami.
Isn't the Keys just like a road?
No. The Keys is like an area. It's this really hot area in Florida, like hotter than the rest of Florida.
Yeah,
it's
but
the hottest
that
part
was
of
just a
Florida,
road.
basically.
It's like 300 miles of a highway.
No,
and
it's
just-
like no, it's
That's part of it.
the but yeah, I mean
Maybe
they're
that's all of it.
they have roads, but like or
They
like
have
they're
roads.
they have a road, yes. And one of the coolest parts is there actually are underwater scenes, and it's actually very interestingly filmed. You can tell they put a lot of money and a lot of effort into it, which is very nice. It's got, I think his name is Kyle Chandler. I keep forgetting his name.
Is he the one who plays he looks like an Owen brother?
It's a dude from Friday Night Lights.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, so it's about this sort of from the outside looking in, this very successful family, which is totally normal, and has a long time of running this resort basically in the Keys, right? This really successful resort that everyone thinks is paradise, and everyone thinks the family is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And we open with the city is honoring the father of the family, who functions as sort of the leader of the family. We start to uncover that this family is actually really screwed up, and we
tropical contact, if you will.
We uncover that when Adam's making Beach Boys references, for those of you who don't know, which is
song.
Kokomo, which is a fictional place.
Making a Muppets
it's a fictional place off the Florida Keys.
The Banff Boys.
Florida Keys.
I'm not gonna lie. When I found out when I was young, when I first heard Kokomo, it was one of the first songs I ever learned. And when I learned it wasn't a real place, I was actually really sad because I always wanted to go to Kokomo.
We want to go
way down in Kokomo, Jamaica.
I like the Kermit the Frog cover.
Yeah,
that
really
was a good
cover.
one. That was actually really good.
Did you have that in the front of a VHS movie? I think it was Muppets Treasure Island.
Yes.
The one I had?
I think it was in front of another one. Some other one.
Remember when VHS?
Because I don't think I ever owned that movie.
Connected to the
Muppets Take Over Manhattan.
So
I'm not even sure it was a Muppets movie it was in front of.
But it was in front of something, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Muppets versus the Avengers.
That would be amazing.
The shortest movie in
So,
existence.
anyways,
That'd be awesome.
so anyways, this all sort of gets uncovered when the sort of odd man out of the family, the eldest brother, who you get the impression is kind of a screw up, comes home and starts
Killing people?
No, he just basically starts uncovering all the family's secrets that they've sort of buried away. He sort of brings everything to the surface, and the first episode is very good, but it's hard to appreciate until the very end of the first episode when you realize the scope of what's actually going to happen in the show. Because it doesn't take place in linear time. They tell you what's going to happen, and then they spend the rest of the time so far in the season working towards that point.
Right.
It's very, very, very good, but I can see it not being for everybody. It's highly dramatic, and there's not a lot of comic relief or anything of the sort. It's kind of heavy, and so that's not going to suit everybody. But it's
any action?
Is there any action? No, but there's just as much intensity sometimes as if there was action.
Okay.
And I think people are really going to like it. Actually, I haven't seen any of the reception yet because I've been trying to avoid it.
Have you seen Powers yet?
No, I have not.
Not again.
Are you at this point attempting to watch Powers, or have you given
Not
up?
again.
I'm gonna wait until it comes out internationally.
Okay.
Sony
needs to.
Why do they call it Powers? It's based on a comic, right?
Yeah, called Powers.
Because every time you Google Powers, it's like something Powers or Powers something. It's like never just Powers.
The reason it's called Powers is because the comic is about two normal cops living in a world of superheroes. And that's what they call people with superheroes. They call them powers. It's like slang.
Whatever happened to that superhero game where you can make your own superhero and
City of Heroes?
It didn't get kickstarted.
No, it was like super like sandbox. Like all the powers are like physics based and everything.
Oh yeah, that was gonna be amazing.
You can make a tornado and like cars would shoot up.
What was that game that had the like?
Charlton Copley is in Powers.
Yeah, he's the main guy.
That's why I said it's a prequel to Chappie.
Oh,
what was the
and Eddie Izzard?
What was the game with the super detailed character creation?
Black Desert.
Yeah, is that still being made?
Yeah, it's only in Korea right now. I think it's coming out.
It's a Korean MMO. I honestly do not have high hopes for that game.
I'm gonna play it.
Try out, though.
But I'll give the character. We should do a special just in character creation. We're trying to make
it's free to play. Right?
It's released here. It'll be released here in 2016.
Okay.
It's released in Korea in 2014 and in Russia in
there
2015.
There is a beta. I don't know if it's closed or open.
It's Korean beta.
Oh,
so if you
there was
don't
some
mind
big
playing
news
it in
this
Korean,
week.
then
Wait, it was voted the best MMO by somebody. How is that possible?
By somebody?
Yes.
Is that a credible source?
Oh wait! Hold on. It's already come out.
Korean.
Wait, it came out in Korea in 2014. Okay, so this is already out somewhere. Like it's not just
it was
in
beta
beta.
last year.
I've already forgotten the name. What's it called?
Black Desert.
No, but
Black
it appears
Desert.
that it's actually been released somewhere
cool.
In Korea. Let me double check this. Actually,
I'm fine with that. It looks fun. I mean, I don't have high hopes for it, like Andrew said, but it looks like it could be promising.
Final Fantasy Type 0 came out. I think in order of games I'm getting GTA 5 first so I can play with you guys, and I'm getting Final Fantasy, and then I'm getting
Hurry up and
Bloodborne.
get that.
Listen, I'm waiting till after my exams.
No, you're not.
Yes!
When are your exams over?
14th.
Alright. Right on the day the PC version comes out. Hopefully. It's definitely going to... Because I said it, it's going to be different by the time this video
Thanks,
comes
Aaron.
out.
Blame Aaron if it doesn't come out.
Yep.
Or late April, or June, or July, or next
This is
year.
never coming out. They just have your
Or
money
2020 something.
Just release it next year. Rockstar, who cares?
now.
Speaking of that, though,
Nintendo, big news. Well, it's kind of big news out of Nintendo. They merged
It's
with
never big
that
news.
company.
Heinz ketchup.
Nintendo and Heinz.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Now Mario's
Why
gonna
wouldn't
have a
you be
Heinz
surprised?
logo in
I'd be
the
very
world.
We're
surprised.
still on the radio, right?
Yeah, we're still on the radio, yeah.
How many?
Sorry,
Saving
you can't tell
vulgarities.
Jordan how you really feel.
Jordan, that was a really interesting comment, and I'll take that into consideration. I'm going to take that, I'm going to put it in its own special folder, tape it up, put it in a filing cabinet, and then throw it into
Stop
the
killing
ocean.
time until is the ocean the after show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you sure it merged, or did it like just partner up with them for
You
something?
mean Heinz or Nintendo?
Nintendo, not Heinz.
stop.
No Heinz.
Okay.
The mobile.
I'm pretty sure they partnered
DNA.
up. They partnered up.
Yeah.
So they're having I forget the name of the company. It's a Japanese.
It's DNA.
Yeah. So they have this company.
That's a stupid
They're making
name.
mobile games, and they're making specifically Nintendo-based mobile games.
Are they putting Pokemon on iOS?
Probably.
Maybe.
Hurry it up.
Okay, so what's going to happen
Would
with
you
that?
want to play Pokemon on
The only
this thing?
only
Absolutely
reason
not.
they signed
I
on with
prefer it
that.
on than this and then on a friggin' Nintendo handle.
Guess what's going to happen with those games? Guess how much they're going to cost?
Like $15 each.
No, $59.99.
They're not gonna be $15.
There's no limit now to how much you can make an app cost.
Yeah,
No,
but
but
you
they're-
don't make
yeah,
it
but there's no limit to
$5.19
how much you
or-
can charge for a game in a store either, and they don't sell Pokemon for $60.
They're not gonna charge $60 for this.
It's going to be way
Why
more
would they
than
charge
any other
them?
app. Way more.
There's
There's like
$120 Final
I know.
Fantasy games on it.
I know.
there's like $300
You're a Bulbasaur guy,
GPS
right?
things you can get on this,
What?
even
You're
though
a
Google
Bulbasaur
Maps
guy,
is
right?
free and does the
A
same
bubble
thing.
sort guy?
Bulbasaur.
Oh, I thought you said bubble sort, which is a thing in Comp Sci.
You mean
So you could
say
argue that I'm a bubble
Bulbasaur?
sort guy because I like to write code. But
No, I mean-
but I am a Bulbasaur guy. Yeah.
What Pokemon are you? What's your
Squirtle.
favorite starter?
Charmander, always.
Pikachu.
Charmander.
Well, clearly the lamest one here is Jordan. Oh God,
Well, that was
So,
the most
what one
terrifying
did
thing I've ever
What one
seen.
did you pick in red and blue?
I was just disturbed.
I don't know.
Nightmares about that.
Blastoise.
You can't pick Blastoise.
Although Blastoise,
You're the kid who
is-
goes to the professor who was like, level this thing up, will you?
Listen,
Picks
man,
up by the
I don't want
foot.
to do any of this work. You take this Squirtle.
George has to shove
Man, I pick a
$50
Squirtle.
bill
I'm,
into
I'm leaving that town with a friggin' Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
No, not
Blastoise.
Blastoise. I don't know what it is.
Squirrely
A Pokemon.
balls in the
Bulbasaur
I'm leaving that
sucks.
town with a
Venusaur was
Pokemon.
like garbage, other than Solar Beam.
Yeah, but that takes like 2 turns.
Yeah,
to do
no.
something.
Yeah.
You know what game I don't enjoy very much?
What?
Any Pokemon game ever.
really, not even blue.
Not really.
I got.
I used to as a kid. I don't enjoy them
for
anymore.
$3.
That's a good game.
That's
Yeah,
a good deal.
they need to make a solid Pokemon RPG if they,
They
want to actually
really,
improve the.
really do.
improve the
The
genre.
recent games X and Y,
They're
probably
Yeah,
going
they're
to-
not.
same.
But they're not a hard. Yeah, it is the same.
they're higher caliber.
Yeah, but they're
In
the
what
same. They're
way?
fundamental. I want a story.
They
Just
have,
give
like-
me a story.
They have an
Yeah.
extra dimension.
They're only higher
That's
caliber
pretty
because
cool.
technology has improved, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, they don't look like a little fella just walking on the map anymore.
They
It's
do.
like-
Yeah.
I'll admit
It's
that
a little bit more to it.
X
Now
and
you're a
Y has
slightly
my-
larger
probably my
3D
favorite
fellow.
generation.
Yeah, exactly. Which is
Now
it's
you
an
have
improvement.
depth on this.
I actually still like Pokemon. Like I go
32
back and
pixels
play
by
Red and
6
Blue and stuff
pixels.
like
Or I
that.
feel like you would get if you had the time, you would get into Pokemon not professionally, but
Yeah, I would,
into,
I
into
would
the
get
online.
into I would get into the meta.
Yeah.
Very heavy.
The
Yeah.
whole-
Pokemon has a
the
really
whole
competitive
breeding
multiplayer.
Thing, the whole breeding thing now is kind of weirding me out. A friend of mine did 900 Gaslies to try and get a shiny Ghastly.
Was he trying to get
Yeah, that's
perfect
stupid.
IVs?
Yeah,
That's stupid.
but it's like this is something that's so in depth now in these games that it's beyond even the game itself.
It's not in depth though. It's randomized. It's a random number generator that
Yep.
gives you most of the things in
Yeah,
this game.
exactly. But
It's
that's what
not
I'm
in
saying.
depth.
And Nintendo should
It's in depth the same way
Game-
Destiny is in depth.
Game Freak should know this and give you rare items that you can get through beating the main game or winning tournaments and stuff that increase your chances of getting Pokemon with good IVs and good stats, or increase the chance of getting a shiny.
If I play an RPG,
What is a shiny?
It's a different color Pokemon.
Does it do anything different?
Absolutely
So then
not.
what's the appeal?
I think they
It's
have
just because
different powers, don't they?
No. Having a shiny means that you spent you took the time to get one. So it's basically like, wow, you have less of a life than I do. That's almost impressive. you can get them in the wild too. I've come across like 4 shinies just through playing the game. Every single one of them I've lost because 3 of them were two of them were gravelers that used explosion and blew up. One of them was a Voltorb that used explosion and blew up, and one of them was a Pikachu that I hit with a really weak attack and I critted it and I killed it in one hit, and I almost broke my 3DS. Literally, I was like.
You almost critted the 3DS.
Yeah.
That's intense.
When I play an RPG, it needs to have a really good risk reward ratio to it.
Right. Yeah.
So if I'm going up against a tough enemy or I'm doing a hard quest, I expect a good reward at the end of that. That's what keeps me playing. In a game like Pokemon, I'm never gonna argue. I'm gonna grind for 80 hours to find this crappy Pokemon. In a Final Fantasy, I'm gonna grind for 3,068 hours to level up once.
It's not that bad in Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy is a lot better than Pokemon when it comes to that stuff. But I do get your point. I don't mind grinding as much, but the rewards in Pokemon need to equal the amount of time you're putting into it.
Yeah.
You don't. Most of the Final Fantasy games, you really don't need to grind that much to get to play the game. You only really need to grind if you're a perfectionist. You want to get like your best characters, but you can easily beat Final Fantasy VII, which is like a standard playthrough without
grinding. I disagree.
I don't think you really have to grind.
Final Fantasy VIII, you don't need to grind at all.
I disagree with you.
No, play it through it again. You don't have to grind.
Maybe I'm terrible at Final Fantasy.
If you all you have to do in Final Fantasy VIII, all you have to do is
because they're not made well.
Get the devil or Diablo. Get them to refine items in or get them to refine magic cards into items. Get them to refine those items into spells, and then junction those spells to your stats, and you're golden.
Yep.
Sega's having a Steam sale this weekend.
Ooh.
They're watching the video.
It
expires today.
It does expire. It expired Friday, so sorry, everybody. Okay. It expires today, everybody.
And the biggest one there, Alien Isolation, is 75% off. So
wow,
how much is
Alien Isolation is $13.74 Canadian.
What about
regular?
Is there any Total War games there?
Huh?
Any Total War games?
Yeah, there's Total War Rome is 75% off.
The Grandmaster Collection.
Shogun is further down.
Because Shogun 2, I heard, was probably
Total
the
War
best.
Medieval, Total War Shogun 2, Total War Napoleon Collection.
The Grandmaster Collection, which is every Total War game, regular $176 is $43.99.
That's amazing. That's an amazing deal. Because even if a lot of those games are bad, Rome, Total War 1, and Shogun 2 are 2 of the best strategy games ever made.
Total War Elite.
I've never heard of this game. I've never heard of this game Viking, but is that Geralt right there?
No. I heard decent things about Viking. I actually own Viking. I haven't played it.
Which is Viking the one where it's kind of like it's
an action adventure game.
Is it the one with really stylized art?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Because there's a game about Vikings that is really stylized.
The Banner Saga.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking of. I want to play that game really badly.
That's made by ex-BioWare devs.
Is it?
Yep.
That's cool. It's coming out on PlayStation 4 soon, so I'm going to get on that
It's
system.
available on Steam, which is a free download, and the game itself
and it is
$21.
Can PS4 start doing...
Oh, Company of Heroes is on here as well.
Yeah.
Company of Heroes is awesome.
Yeah.
Is that World War II?
You betcha.
RTS? Mm-hmm. I want to get after the semester, I'm going to get some PC games, some older ones. I'm not really interested in some of the newer ones, but I'm going to get Civ 5 and play.
Get Morrowind.
No.
Is Civ 5 an old game?
Oh, you're not going to get Morrowind?
Well, it's 2011.
I'll play in that. That's a fun game.
I heard it's one of the best Sims games out there.
Really good.
And it's one of the easiest to get into if you're a new player.
You should totally get Morrowind.
Rise of Nations was a great game. I miss that.
It's kind of like they're really similar games, to be honest.
Yeah.
The only big difference from Rise of Nations to Civ is that Rise of Nations is sort of persistent, like everyone is always making turns, whereas in Civ,
$22.
there's a couple of different modes. Like you can each
that'll go down over a sale. Sorry, Aaron.
No problem.
It's not on sale right now.
Okay.
You each take turns, or you can have simultaneous turn where all the players playing online can take their turns at the same time, and then you wait for the AI to make their turns. So cool.
I'm also looking forward to getting
a life.
Yes. No, I've heard. I watched a review of Ace Combat Assault Horizons because I played one of the Ace Combat games and I didn't really like them, but then I watched the video.
Is that the latest one?
Yeah, and apparently it looks really good.
That's
so
the Americanized one.
Moving the camera around.
But
this was moving it, so I moved it back.
It is a fun game. Gets really hard and it's kind of like a little repetitive because it is very cinematic. Like I'm sure you've seen some of the gameplay. Like the camera moves around to like different parts of the plane that are like firing missiles.
There's like a dogfight mode. Almost.
Yeah, most of the dogfights per level are scripted. Like not every single one is the same, but every level you'll experience the same one. The same things happen.
Zoom in on his twitching.
I kind of just want to get it just so I can have like a fighter pilot game. Because I've been kind of joking.
Sorry.
What was that free-to-play mech game that came out like a year ago?
Hawken.
Yeah, was that any good?
Decent. They're actually being bought out, I think.
The best
by somebody.
cheesies.
They haven't updated in a while.
Hawkins cheesies.
Yeah.
Why?
Is that Newfoundland?
Is it? It's gotta be. They can't exist anywhere else.
They're definitely Canadian.
Yeah, I guess. It's and
they're terrible.
I'm going to use the power of my producer's
the term
computer.
cheesy is almost Canadian as well. If you don't know what a cheesy is, it's Cheetos.
It's a cheese stick.
It's like a crunchy stick of cheese.
No-name brand of cheese stick.
What is it?
Cheese log.
Cheetos.
No, cheese log is something
People know what
else.
Cheetos are.
Yeah, but what are they actually called though?
I don't know. It's like saying a Sobeys bag. It's like
the cheese.
grocery bag. I
Is
don't
the
know.
cheese here?
We call them cheesy.
The cheese
that's
is
where we
this.
grew up. But I've said cheesy to people before, and they're like, "What are you talking about?"
Who are you?
Like,
I
it's like
generally don't like cheesies.
No?
No,
It's
I mean,
okay.
do you prefer
I
the crunchy ones or the puffed ones?
Ontario.
The puff ones, but
Hawkins.
Canadian though. Like if I'm
Yeah.
gonna eat chips, I just don't like it because I find they get like makes my fingers all dirty, and I don't like.
Yep, their number is 1888 cheesy.
Use tweezers.
That's good. That must have been hard to get.
Use tweezers. Use tweezers.
Don't use tweezers to eat
Yes.
chips. No.
Not chips.
You're reaching a whole
No,
new level of...
No, man. There's these cheesies that you can get at the supermarket. I forget what they're called.
They permanently stain your hand.
But they will destroy
They're
your
the
hand.
Humpty Dumpty ones.
No.
Cheese bits.
I don't know what they're called.
Cheese-a-bits?
But if you like put your hand in the bag, it just comes out like an inch thick coating of cheese, and you're never getting it off.
You still gotta put your hand in the bag to use tweezers.
No, you pour them into a bowl and then you tweeze it.
Whereas lobster chips will do nothing to you.
Yeah, no, they don't
I
do anything
saw
for
you.
We
your
gotta get
body.
another bag of those.
How do we
We did.
segue into food again?
I don't know.
When the
I
next
was
Trials
talking
game
about
comes
hockey. You brought
I want to get back to
Not
Ace
even
Combat for a second. There was one that came out on Xbox 360. I played the ones before that one.
It was Ace
Crimson
Combat.
Skies,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, it was. It
was
wasn't
6.
Crimson Skies.
No, Crimson Skies is something different, but it was Ace Combat 6.
Okay,
No, it was. I thought maybe it was like Warbird or something.
it was. It might have been something Skies.
I played through one on PSP. It might have been one I'm talking
Anyway,
about.
I really enjoyed that one, and the ones that preceded it. I liked the fictional world they used.
Yeah,
Assault Horizon is
in the Middle East, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Earth. It's Earth as we know it.
But the other ones
past
are like,
games were in this fictionalized planet. I guess
it's kind of like
alternate reality sort of thing.
Yeah. Have you ever play the game Chrome Hounds? It's kind of like Chrome Hounds, where it was
Briefly.
Earth, but it was like a different
Back when there was nothing else on Xbox.
Yeah, that game I bought. That was the first game I ever bought for the 360, and I was like, "Wow, this is really good." And then I played something else, and I'm like, "Wow, that Chrome Hounds was crap," and it was.
Always, yeah.
We kind of got ruined for Xbox 360 because the first game we played was PGR 3.
Wow.
Was it?
Well, the first
One of the
first
very
real
first
games
ones.
we played that it was that and Oblivion when it first came out. Both those games looked
Yeah, I
amazing.
think
they're still
Oblivion was
good.
the first game
When
we
I
saw.
first got my 360, I remember I turned it on and I was like, "This is like," I was amazed at how loud it was because I turned on because I still had my old Xbox hooked up for comparison, so I turned on my old Xbox. It was like nothing, and I turned on the 360.
Yeah.
They're just like, why is this making so much noise?
Yeah,
What is this red ring?
I had 3 of them red ring, and then I bought the Slim, and I've never had issues with the Slim.
So you know Joe Louis.
The Slim is what it should have been back in 2005.
I've had
Joe
issues
Louis,
right? Yeah.
with the Slim before. I think I have a
So you know they're made by Vachon, right?
Yeah, Vachon.
The previous owners are listed
Jean Vachon.
as one of the previous owners' names is Arcade Vachon. His first name was Arcade.
Yeah, Arcade's a name.
It is?
Yeah, there's a companion in New Vegas whose name is Arcade.
Do you know why Joe Louis are called Joe Louis?
That's not
that doesn't mean like that's an actual name. But I'm saying that name does. The name does exist.
It's because
I'm just relating to what I know.
They were named after.
I don't know anybody named Arcade.
Baseball player.
The Vachon sons, Joseph and Louis. So it's actually JOS, full stop, Louis. That's interesting.
I thought it was Louis.
Rory?
What?
No.
It's not
JOE,
interesting.
not
No,
JOS.
it isn't.
No, it's JOS.
It
It
is
is
pretty cool.
JOS.
We should all band together and adopt a kid.
Yeah, because
and
it's
name
Joseph.
him Arcade.
Yeah, well, we say
Arcade
we
Junkies.
say Joe Louis, but that's
can't imagine
like
why
we're
Arcade
wrong.
Junkies.
Like,
Let's
Man,
call
I'm
ourselves
going out
Arcade
buying a
Here,
box
what's
of
that
Joe
picture you
Louis
wanna show
after
me?
like there, check
I
this
don't
out.
know, Adam. I
See,
can't
Joss
see it.
Louis.
Joe Louis! Joe Louis!
We've lost all
Joe
our
Louis!
international viewers.
Adam was talking about the Slim never encountering an error. Well, I have encountered an error before.
I've never had a console error.
I believe it was due to the HDMI.
That's a TV error.
Well, it was the Xbox.
I'm really hoping
anyway,
that the pictures of golf clubs.
That's what I saw.
Holy shit!
That's GTA.
We're still
5.
on the radio.
Well then.
GTA 5.
Actually, maybe we're not anymore, are
No, we are.
I'll throw the picture up.
Jordan, I would never let the radio show run too long and then abruptly
It has to
stop.
switch over to the slightly lower audio
We
quality.
must be running out of time now, are we?
We're getting there. We got a long way.
At what point did you say what you said?
That was HDMI.
What
I had to
minute?
restart
What
the
minute are we at right now?
58.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So get ready to outro in like 4 seconds, Rory. Oh,
we
no,
still
we gotta
got
go by.
We still have some time. So I want to talk to you about Empire Strikes Back. Oh, we gotta go by!
Let's talk about Empire Strikes Back.
Why?
Why
Do you
not?
like Empire Strikes Back?
I do.
It was the best
Alright,
of
that's
them.
that.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Do you think it was the best movie? The best Star Wars
It was
movie?
up there.
It's my favorite.
It was my favorite as well.
I watched. That was the first one I watched because I remember I looked on. Actually, it's not the first one I watched. It's the first one I remember because I remember asking my cousin because on the back of his VHS copy of New Hope, Jabba the Hutt was one of the pictures. Like in the scene, where he's talking to Han Solo in front of the Millennium Falcon, and I was like, "Who's that squid guy or that slug guy?" And so he's like, "That's Jabba the Hutt." And then he showed me the scene, the Battle of Hoth, and that's the first thing I ever watched of Star Wars.
The Bant of Hoth.
Now we've got to clue up the radio show now. Thank you for tuning in. This isn't as an abrupt stop as usual.
Join us next week for more discussions.
Yes,
of-
and don't forget, if you're listening on the radio, go on to PixelJunkies.ca. You can find the full hour-and-a-half podcast where we're going to be talking about
iTunes.
Infinite Crisis. And also, I have a very interesting factoid for you guys about some Vachon desserts. So, stay tuned.
Yankees.
And we are back.
I don't have any recording.
You don't have sound play.
So before the break, I told you guys that I would be telling you an interesting fact about one of these Vachon snacks. This one's actually very intriguing.
Rory, if this fact isn't actually intriguing, I'm gonna call you something really not nice.
All right, so you guys know what we call in Newfoundland billet logs?
Oh, man.
No.
Below.
I fire out Bill Logs.
You guys, you know them, right? They're those little
ticket logs.
Isn't that the thing that they fire out
They're
at
pink.
Super Mario?
They're pink
no, you know
cream
these,
rolls.
right? Yeah, exactly. You know the ones, right?
Coconut, maybe.
Well, here's the thing: they're not actually called billet logs.
Is it a snowball?
Are they belay?
No, that's the thing. No, it's like they're
You're talking
the
about a
French.
West.
No, I'm
French
talking about
is
billet
billet.
logs.
Jesus Christ,
You've not
Adam.
seen on the thing is that's the French and English word on the front thing. Billet is the French one,
Below.
and log is the English one.
Below.
Yeah, B-O, I think it is.
No, below.
I don't think you say the L.
Below.
That's,
Say one L because there's two.
are you sure?
Below.
Bilati?
What's ticket in Francais?
It's the same thing actually. Yeah. But if you say travailler, it is only you skip the L, right?
Yeah, but it depends.
If there's two L's, do you say? But doesn't matter.
Far too much French for my life.
I can read French. I cannot speak it.
Is that your fact?
And give me one of them pink logs.
Anyways, the point is, they're actually called jelly logs, but the jelly's written in super small font above log, and billet, B-O, below, whatever it's called, is actually the French word for log.
What's written above B-O or whatever?
Nothing. It says like it says below a la jelly, and then jelly log.
Don't restrict me. This is funny.
Anyways, also I said I would talk about.
Just stand up off the chair. You'll be fine.
The sound mixing, by the way, this is by far the worst sound mixing of any episode. So. Because Jordan's been moving around the whole time, and then he puts his feet up on the thing, and it goes.
It's just the most. So Rory, was that your fact?
What? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty good. That was good. Anyways,
no,
so
Rory, what?
Now I get to talk about Infinite Crisis.
What is this? Is this a sequel to Crisis?
No.
Not even close. We talked about it last week.
Yeah, we mentioned last week that I was going to be able to play it now, right? It's the DC MOBA, the DC universe.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so I got a chance to play it now a little bit, not too much, but I played it a little bit now. This really messes up my sound mixing is the thing, right? Can you not mess with stuff like that when I'm trying to?
You can't tell him not to, because then he will. He's a friggin' 3-year-old.
So anyways, I got a chance to play Infinite Crisis. Obviously, this game is going to get compared to League like it has before anyone even played it. Everyone was like, this is a copy. Everyone online was just posting, this is a copy of League. It's not. It's a MOBA. That's the same structure. And there's, away MOBAs are done with lanes. But beyond that, really, there's quite a few differences. So the first of which is that the art style isn't as cohesive as League. League has a more definite. Yeah, go ahead.
Is it just called Infinite Crisis?
Yeah, Infinite Crisis. You can look it up.
Is it a top-down?
That's also a comic by DC.
No, that's the idea. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about this.
It's a DC MOBA, right?
I'm gonna Google this.
Yeah, I know, but I just didn't know. So it's taking place during the Infinite Crisis. You have to destroy the Anti-Monitor? That's pretty cool. So who are the champions?
Everyone. Well, lots of people. I mean, you have got Gaslight Batman, Nightmare Robin.
I've seen Crypto.
You can play as Harley Quinn, Star Sapphire, Supergirl, Superman, Green Lantern. Suffice to say, there are a lot of champions with a lot of skins at the moment.
Let's back this up.
Can we not back this up? We've been backing this up the whole time.
Both of you fellas are on your phones.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure this out here now. I don't like the idea of top down.
Only one of us is allowed to not pay attention to the podcast. That's the guy with the laptop in front of him.
Atomic Wonder Woman. Batman.
Anyway, so the point is that League of Legends has a more of a definitive art vision, whereas this is more sort of cobbled together from various artistic styles. They make it work with the story. They explain it.
Yeah.
But the visual style in this is a little more jarring. It's very good, but it's jarring. Oh, yeah.
I don't know how these games could have a story.
Well, I mean, it has a whole bunch of lore to play with. That's the thing with this game, right? Is it already has pre-existing lore to take from.
I guess it's got a story in the same way as that.
World of Warcraft has a story.
No, I was going to talk about that DC Mortal Kombat game, not the crossover.
Are you talking about DC Universe Online?
No, the fighting game.
Oh yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Or no, it's not.
What is that called?
It's like DC versus MKU.
No, not the versus one. The new one that came out. The one that came after Mortal Kombat 9.
There's another one?
Yeah, it's not a crossover. It's a straight up DC fighter.
Oh.
Stop screwing up my shit.
It's like Infinite, but it's not. Isn't it Infinite?
Not screwing up anything.
It's a DC game, Heroes or something.
Anyway,
presumably they will be releasing new...
I find
new
pretty
heroes.
Sure
oh yeah, you bet. Yeah,
I'm not seeing a lot of heroes on one.
So one good thing it does have, though, that's interesting that League doesn't have, is you get to play with the environment a little more. Well, first of all, you can also take superpowers, right? You go out there with a certain level of superpowers, and you can. One thing that's cool is, so if you have super strength, you can pick up pieces of the environment and throw them at opponents, which you cannot do in League. So ultimately, like, comparing this to League is actually going to be kind of useful because
it's faster, isn't it?
It does. It's faster. Yeah, it's definitely faster, and there's a lot of things this does that I like that League doesn't have a chance to do. You can build artifacts just by being close to one of your, like, sort of, we'll say, allied turrets, which, you know, in League you can only build artifacts at the shop, right? But this one, all you need to do is be next to an allied turret, which is handy, so you can build artifacts sort of in the heat of battle, which I like a lot. The champions are all very good. You know, I've mostly been playing Gaslight Batman because I wanted to find, you know, an expertise in one champion if I could. Yeah. I've played with a few other members of the community. So far, they seem fine. I'm really impressed for a new MOBA, and of course, the game ultimately is not broken, which, you know, I wish I didn't have to say as a feature, but these days is pretty much a selling point. Except it's free, so it's not a selling point.
So, is it a PC game only?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it pay to win? How do they make money off this thing?
That's going to be the same thing as League, so you can buy skins, or you can buy champions. But the good thing about these games is that one champion is not necessarily better than another. It's just what you have an expertise in playing. Go ahead.
When my exams are over, I'll pick up this. I'll get this game because you said it's free, and I'll play it with you and give it a go.
You won't be able to.
Why?
The PC requirements are very heavy.
Yeah.
But you can. Well, yeah, they're surprisingly heavy for a MOBA.
That's funny.
I mean, can you bring them up for us, Andrew?
The game you were talking about was Injustice: Gods Among Us.
That's it.
Yeah, you're right.
That was a fun game. I would have preferred more fighters, but they had a pretty wide selection anyway.
Although, actually, you know the requirements of Adam's laptop, so you'll be able to say better than I can whether he can run it based on the requirements.
I'm going to say no, because
if I remember correctly,
first game I'm going to get off Steam is going to be Far Cry 2.
That's a good choice.
I don't know if that's going to run.
Far Cry 2? Why wouldn't it? It came out in 1998.
Did it actually?
Far Cry 2 didn't. Far Cry 2 came out like...
No, sorry. Fallout 2. There we go.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
I can run Fallout 2.
The first game you should get a Fallout 1. Then Fallout 2.
Maybe.
You should play Fallout 1 first.
I'm also going to get System Shock.
Yeah.
It requires an i3.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
The Infinite Crisis specs.
Okay, minimum requirements or recommended requirements? Okay, yeah.
Well, let's just go with, it says predicted. I assume this is recommended. An i5 is recommended on a GTX 460 if you're using NVIDIA. If you're using AMD, then this HD 5830, I don't know what that is. 6 gigs of RAM, Windows 7, DirectX 11, and 2 gigs of hard drive space.
I can't remember your graphics card, Adam. I'm kind of
remembering. Is the one I got good enough?
830, something like that.
Maybe whatever Andrew gave me.
I feel like once my current laptop is kind of dead, I'm gonna fish out the money for an actual good gaming laptop.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to get some
so you're gonna go over to the dark side and start hacking the modem?
No, that's my thing. I'm gonna.
Not if you're a computer nerd.
I'm just gonna because there are some games that you can only get on PC that I want to get. They're mainly just Steam arcade games. Like there's one in London in Dark Seas or Gloomy Seas, whatever that one was. That looks good, and there's a couple others I want to get.
I have a 460 you can have though.
There's a game that I saw recently.
He doesn't have the power supply for it.
For 460?
Well, you need the connector, and he has a
pre-built power supply
computer.
There's a game I saw earlier the month. IGN has their IGN First or whatever, and one of the games was Firestarter or Firewatch. Firewatch, I think it's called.
That looks cool.
Yeah, did you watch the gameplay for that?
Yeah, it looks kind of like The Long Dark.
Yeah,
similar in artistic style.
When that game comes out, we should do a thing in it.
I'd like to do a thing in The Long Dark as well.
What's The Long Dark?
Sort of similar idea. I think it's like it is a survival game, and it's it's a survival game that takes place in like a snowy environment or a cold environment. So basically, your main enemy is the cold.
Wait, what? We played that, right?
Yeah.
What is it again?
It's called The Long Dark.
Is that coming out for console?
Maybe.
I'd love for it
I think
to
it's
be.
still being made. Jennifer Hale, the main.
Oh yeah.
There's no real dialogue in it.
From Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still can't get over that. That's so cool.
You know who else is from Newfoundland? Deadshot.
Yeah, I know.
It is a very.
He's just
funny
got an
movie.
action figure.
Yeah.
We should do an interview with one of them. That'd be cool. We and me knew because I don't like doing interviews.
Okay, yeah,
An interview
sure.
with
Why
Deadshot?
don't get him on the show?
I can do that, I think. I'll try to get a hold of him.
See if we'll come in for an episode of the Pixel Junkies.
We're talking
Yeah, we're
Deadshot, the
super
DC
awkward.
villain.
I'm not sure if he'll come in for an episode of Pixel Junkies, but I can try to get him in for an interview that can go on Pixel Junkies.
Yeah, okay, well, whatever. That'd be cool.
We're getting
I'll see what I can
Deadshot,
do.
the DC villain, and interviewing him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Adam just
The guy
suggested
in
it to me, and I said I'd try to do it.
The guy in Arrow.
Arrow!
Oh, I see where you're confused.
Yeah, we're getting an assassin to come in.
No, I
And
didn't. I told Danger.
No. Oh my god, I nearly died.
Jordan.
Stop dying.
Okay.
You're dying too much. Stop it.
but yeah, we can. That's not a promise to the listeners. That's just an internal thing we just had on Pixel Junkies. We just had an internal meeting for a few minutes.
Just pull your ears for the last minute. Forget what
That
happened.
tremendous boop noises.
Hopefully it all.
They announced F1 2015 this week.
Oh, so
did
they
they?
announced
I'm
a sequel to a
excited.
game that was gonna have a
I'm
sequel.
excited.
I've been liking your series in F1
Oh, yeah?
because it's been teaching me about
I'm
F1
glad someone's
racing.
watching it. Thanks, Adam.
I think everybody else goes to sleep during that one.
No, I put it on. I don't like.
What do you
I
mean
don't know.
during it?
I don't
Isn't it
expect
not on
It's one of
YouTube?
those.
It's kind of like a car podcast.
What? Yeah.
What do you mean
so,
everyone goes
like,
to sleep during it? It's on YouTube. It
Yeah,
doesn't
why
have
would
a
they watch
temporal.
it? Oh man, I'm gonna watch.
Yeah,
I fell asleep.
that's what I mean.
Oh, so
Man, I
put
can't
you
wait
to
for that
sleep?
to come on television.
So.
It airs Sunday nights at 10:30.
So when I watch
Replaces
them,
Top Gear now.
I'll do the same thing I do when I listen to our podcast. I'll put on a video game that I've already played before, or Minecraft or something. I'll just play that while I'm listening.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you know, I don't expect everyone to sit down and watch an hour of.
It's-
cars
it's-
driving
Why do you
around.
I
make
like-
them an hour long?
That's why I have 3 monitors,
It's like
Adam.
Raceling.
Because I have 2 YouTube screens, then the video game in the middle. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I
see,
do the cross-side thing, and
I need 3 screens now for. I use one screen as a reference for work, and the other screen for the work I'm doing. So now, if I want to watch a video, it's like I need 3 screens, so I can have a video, the reference, and my work. So
you gotta get a bigger
I
table.
gotta get a bigger desk, yeah.
Why don't you just do Windows or Windows if you will?
Because I want it to be full screen. I don't want to be half screen. Or that's why I got 2 monitors in the first place, because I had.
You want it to be full screen, and you want to sit so close that you start getting sick from all of it.
Okay, whatever.
encompass your
Whatever
entire
floats
peripheral.
remotes.
Anyway, yeah.
That's the
So
expression,
I'm excited about it. It's a brand new engine, new platform. This is the first one that's coming to Xbox One and PS4. Put Jordan to sleep.
It's are they doing it? So what is the difference between this and the previous one? I
Not
generally
much.
don't know. Okay.
A new engine,
Okay.
basically. And it's Codemaster, so I'm hoping that
Is
it
it-
will
is it a
visually
car
look
pun?
awesome. What?
Is that a car pun?
What was the what?
New engine?
Oh. I guess no pun intended.
You have the uncanny ability to ruin kind of any statement I ever make.
What are you excited about?
He has
this
the
week,
uncanny
Jordan?
ability to
I
ruin
am excited
everything
about
ever.
Better Call Saul, honestly.
Oh, yeah, you've been
Oh,
watching
yeah.
it. How's
yeah,
that?
the last episode that was on was actually really good,
It was.
wasn't it? Like, it
Was
kind of
it?
just made me really appreciate the show. And there's
It's
There's
finding
nothing-
itself now.
Yeah,
you knew where it was going when it started, and it was good, but now it's finding itself.
yeah,
it's awesome to
and
watch.
I'm so even I like Breaking Bad. Don't get me wrong, but actually, so far I like this show better.
Really?
Yeah, I think I like the quirkiness a little bit more than
Yeah, in comparison to like where Breaking Bad would have been at this point, I think Better Call Saul is like miles ahead.
yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is getting really good too.
I cannot wait for the second season to come out on DVD.
Yeah, it's
Don't
really
spoil
good.
it,
The
please.
first season I think was the biggest issue for me because I watched the first 10 episodes and I was like,
Yeah.
nothing's
Yeah.
happened. Nothing
Yeah.
really happened in the first 10 episodes, and that was the issue for me.
Not much happened in the first season, really.
and it didn't really set up a story either. Like it wasn't like
As
Now
soon,
they're-
as soon as that big event happens, about 1/4.
It's about halfway through.
Is it about
Second
halfway?
season.
You know what I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
it's when that happens in the first season, that's when the show really picks up. But before that,
Yeah.
it's basically floundering. I think they were just waiting until
Yeah.
that moment happened.
Since the mid-season break, season 2, like the stuff they've established up to this point, like even insignificant stuff in the first season that you're like, whatever. Now, it's like it's really every single thing that has happened in just about every episode has a reason and pays off and all comes together, and it really feels like Dollhouse. I've said it to you guys already.
I heard that the first that it was the first the first half of the season has been really good.
It has been really good, and I think so far the second half has topped it.
Do you think you can keep that momentum up through a third and fourth?
I really hope they keep it going because I'm enjoying it.
So this is like
I haven't seen currently.
Like a replacement, that's a spiritual successor to Dollhouse and
I
Angel
really
shows
think
like
it
that.
is.
Okay.
I really think it is.
Was Angel your favorite Joss Whedon project? I know it was his.
I like Buffy better.
I'm gonna have to go with Dollhouse.
Firefly, I guess.
But
Firefly's good. It wasn't.
I think Angel's a close second.
Have you played Life is Strange episode 2 yet?
I have not yet.
I have.
I mean, have you?
Yeah, I've actually. Well, actually, my girlfriend loves it.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome. It's a game my girlfriend is like addicted to. I was like, the second episode's out? She's like, what? You didn't tell me? Oh my god!
You're supposed to be up on this stuff, dude.
I meant to play episode 2 of Borderlands as well.
That's
and
fantastic.
Episode 3 of Game of Thrones, which I have not played yet.
Is episode 3
out? Yep, you need to play Borderlands, Tales from the Borderlands.
I guess the first episode.
It's amazing. Like, seriously, go out and play it. It's so funny. It's my favorite Telltale series because it's not heavy. And
the second episode's good. Like,
I think it's better than the first one. Okay. It's really funny.
I like the idea of it.
I heard it slowed down a lot, but I don't know where I heard that.
I played a little bit of it.
Yeah. Good, awesome. I'm looking forward to all those.
I'm gonna wait because I need to. I gotta play a lot of games once exams are over. So I'm gonna get what was it? Life is Strange episode 2 after exams, and then that'll be the first thing I play because I'm really looking forward to the. So like. No, I don't even want anything spoiled.
No, my girlfriend really.
All the achievements / what are you playing on PS4?
Yeah.
Trophies are all like photography based, right?
Yeah, which I like that too.
Yeah, I played through. I got like 2.
Yeah, you gotta go looking for them.
I don't care anymore about the
trophies. But I thought I had seen most of what the game has.
Yeah.
Because it's built in a way where you just go back and try something else if you didn't get the right outcome. In a Telltale game, you're stuck with your decisions.
But I like the idea of having that choice. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it kind of.
But you don't know the repercussions. You never know the repercussions of doing something or not doing something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until the time comes around, like stuff. I'm not spoiling anything, but stuff from the first episode starts. The repercussions of what you did in the first episode start.
So again, there are
coming into fruition in the second one.
So there are still consequences to choice.
Yeah.
What I like about what Life is Strange has done is, like what Jordan is saying, the consequence of something. And I think that gives a bit more weight to how good you feel about a decision made or how bad you feel about a decision made.
Yeah.
Because then that sort of puts this is what would have happened, this is what happens. And I guess now, like you're saying in the second episode, obviously you can't go back and change what you did. No. So I kind of like that.
So I was just scrolling furiously through my phone because I was trying to find... I saw a game reel this week and I couldn't remember the name of it that I think looks really cool. It's called... The Flame and the Flood, and it's about this little girl, 14 years old, we'll say, and her dog, and they live in this post-apocalyptic world where everything is flooded, and all that's left are little tiny islands that are dotting the landscape. And she has a raft she's made. And she can travel between those islands, and she's got to forage for food. It's a survival game, and apparently it's one of the best that's been made because it's more about exploration and just kind of the mood of the game as opposed to just flat out surviving in something like Rust. It looks really interesting. The art style reminds me a lot of Sky Saga, that kind of blocky, very stylized art style.
What's it called?
It's called The Flame and the Flood by Molasses Flood, which is a direct reference to the Great Molasses Flood, which is the best name and the most hilarious tragedy ever. I think 18 people died.
Of course.
Yeah. So is this going in the podcast?
I don't know.
Andrew's playing some Civ 5 over here, and he's recording it on Fraps, so...
If you want to put it in, you can.
Maybe.
Also, just want to remind... viewers, there's a bunch of new Netflix original series. Of course, we talked about Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I just mentioned Bloodline in April 2015.
Trailer Park Boys Season 9 is out now.
There you go. Next month, the second season of Knights of Sidonia comes out.
I haven't seen the first.
watch the first.
We saw at the bar.
Who?
Cyrus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Cyrus.
See, that was. I don't think I've ever been to the point where someone said that it was some guy from a show, and I assumed that it was a guy dressed up as a guy from a show.
No, it was actually him.
Because and I know that now.
Turns out the character was just that guy.
Wait, sorry. What? Someone please.
Cyrus from Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We were at a bar downtown. And
he came to one of the
really?
shows.
Oh, okay, right on.
In the leather jacket setup that his character.
Like, why would you go to a bar as the guy that you plan to show?
Well, that is who he
why
is
do you go
in
to
person.
a bar?
But now he's.
Well, I mean,
he's not a huge character in the show either. It wasn't a big deal. I didn't care. But
I
it was pretty fun.
Wouldn't consider it a big deal anyway. But it was just weird that I was sitting next to the guy all night, assuming that it was a guy just dressed up as some other random person.
Yeah.
And then when we left, it was like, oh, it's actually the guy. It's like,
remember that time we were at the music shop and Alan Doyle was there? And he looked at Jordan and was like...
I know, I looked back at him when I was like,
Alan Doyle! I just want to say that Knights of Sidonia has gotten praise from Hideo Kojima.
Oh, is this an anime?
Yeah.
I won't watch it.
Oh, you don't like anime?
I like Dragon Ball Z. That's about it.
Is it the only one? Really? Oh, you should watch some others. Dude, watch Death Note. You love Death Note.
I've been told I like Death Note. I've been told the concept of it, but I'm not...
Kind of, it was like mimicking Dragon Ball Z and also Out of Rage of Jordan.
Death Note is good. Chaos Head is good, but you'd hate it.
That's terrible.
I've been watching the Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and I've made me want to go back and watch the show.
Yeah, it's funny. It's super funny. But even DBZ Kai is great.
I'm probably going to get that at some point.
Watch that instead, because it's like...
It cuts the Frieza saga down from 100 episodes to 60, so...
Yeah, it's huge.
Oh, JOS?
These episodes...
6. Oh.
No, it's...
it cuts out 40 episodes that are nothing but filler in a 100-episode story arc. That's how long that saga goes. That saga, more than anything else, dragged terribly. I like Dragon Ball Z, but that show could drag...
Oh, yeah.
How many episodes of Dragon Ball Z were there?
A lot. I guess 300.
That's crazy. For an anime, that's crazy.
It would have to be more than that if the Frieza saga alone was over 100.
Well, Cell in the Android and Cell sagas, and then the Boo saga weren't, and the Saiyan saga before Frieza. I don't think were as
That's
long.
when
Frieza
he found
was
himself. That was kind of when he was like, oh wait.
That's when they introduced the concepts of like Super Saiyan and like Galactic Conquerors and stuff that became the staple of the show. Frieza really ended up becoming what the show was for the next 8 story
But they had to
arcs.
figure it out at like the last minute. So.
Oh, this is cool. I want to read out a snippet from the Hideo Kojima quote about Knights of Sidonia. Japanese culture has lost its cool, and Knights of Sidonia will be the white knight that saves it.
Cool.
That's interesting. That's high praise.
Minus points for using the term white knight, but yeah. Yeah.
Didn't he have like a channel or something and that got canceled, or he was in the news this week?
Hideo Kojima?
Yeah, Konami. Well,
yeah, this is complicated.
There's speculation that he'll be leaving Konami after the release of MGS5.
This is not helping the thing I said a couple weeks ago, which is I think that people misinterpreted, and I still believe that people misinterpreted his quotes about Metal Gear Solid, the franchise.
Yeah, I thought that was confirmed already.
I mean, I'm sure he will be leaving, but Konami's been doing something really not good, in my opinion. You know how all the Metal Gear games, all his releases say Hideo Kojima game.
Yeah, they're taking that away.
Konami's been taking that out of stuff. So games that have been released, like the Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection or whatever, it no longer says a Hideo Kojima game.
Yeah.
On top of it.
They're trying to promote more the Konami brand.
There
are
291 Dragon Ball Z episodes. That is not including the 13-hour to 2-hour long movies. Nor does it count the probably close to 200 episodes of Dragon Ball. Nor does it count the probably close to 150 episodes of GT, which I know GT gets a lot of slack. The first season of that was really good, and it has by far the best animation, the best music.
I think
with an anime, more than 35
really
episodes.
Good Baby was awesome, although Cell's always my favorite.
Yeah, but like even the hell versions of these.
You should just have a Dragon Ball. You know what we should do? When I get my recording stuff, we should play Xenoverse. And just
you guys can do that now. You don't have to wait.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but I don't want you and Wingus and Dingus over there shitting on it. Yeah, but we need the recording equipment.
Yeah, you can do that at his house. We don't have to be in it.
Wait, I don't get it.
Wingus and
Wait,
dingus.
hold on. Is
That's
Aaron?
not
Wait, we gotta rewind here.
Andrew invites them over to my house. So
Is Aaron both Wingus and Dingus?
No,
because you said
Wingus
you
and
and
Dingus.
you
You
said
can totally
no,
do
but
it
he
now
said
and
you
do it
and
yourself.
Wingus and Dingus.
No, I said
Wow,
you,
man.
and then I changed it with Wingus and Dingus.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah, you can edit it yourself. That sounds good.
Well, I will.
Jordan, can you not
wanna
do
start
that?
Doing videos.
You have a
I
computer.
really
You can
can't,
edit right now.
What?
Not do that.
You can edit.
I wouldn't
You
know
don't
about
have.
video editing.
Yeah, well, he can learn.
Try
Yeah, that's
that.
what I mean.
You don't need recording equipment.
You can do a surprising amount on Windows Movie Maker. I know it's not. No, seriously
Yeah,
though.
about
You
that.
actually can.
Fuck Movie Maker, man. It is the worst piece of shit any human has
Actually,
ever
no,
made.
no. The fucking default one on Mac is pretty shitty too.
The funny thing about
Why
Windows
Movie
Movie
Maker?
Maker is actually
I
is
usually
is
got
getting
all
worse.
people too.
Like Movie Maker's gotten worse over successive
significantly.
years.
Like I deliberately, when I didn't have video editing software, I was like, I'm gonna go back and download Movie Maker 2.6 or whatever it was, so I
Yeah.
can actually fucking edit the video.
I know, right? The current one is a weird way
So
of
do you want to
like.
just put this video in a line with other shit?
All you can do is
Or
like
do you just
you
wanna
drag
fuck
the
with
front,
upload to YouTube.
you can drag the front, you like make it shorter on the front, or you can drag the back, and that's it. You can't split it. You can't move shit around.
You can't split
the,
the fu-
the
That's how
timeline
I
goes
was
like
like-
this.
You
I
can
was like-
split it. You can split it.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
I know you can't. Like iMovie, you can't.
But in Windows Movie Maker, you can definitely split it.
I know you can't, but you can't.
I have no idea how to do it. Then they made it.
Yeah, you go into another menu and then it brings up a thing that says
Fuck
split.
that.
I used to edit
Yeah,
interviews
Right
using
click
that.
and
Yeah.
just fucking say split.
or hit the S button.
Oh my
And it
Jesus
splits.
Christ! What is the main fucking function in a fucking in a
Well, on this
making
thing,
a film
on
reel?
one of the programs I use for this podcast, you can't delete. You can only
That's a
cut.
good program.
You can only cut things. Like, why? Why? Anyways, we're out of time. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast. We will be back next Monday.
We'll talk about more shit.
Brought to you
same
by
as last
Sony
time.
Vegas.